Steve McClung flying high on the Arctro Analogs jet. You can hear the engines roaring in the background. Cruising. Steady flight. 30,000 feet above you. Alright, look up. See me? Wave. Alright. You know I'm just kidding, right? Maybe. This is the Freedom Plane flying high. Looking down on all the people walking around. A lot of them doing stupid shit. Like you. Hey, Brenda. I can see you. Okay? Nice tits, by the way. Yep. I can see you from 30,000 feet, and you're butt naked, sweetie. Yeah, very nice. All right. Hey, Jack, put your pants on. I mean, seriously. That's inappropriate. You shouldn't be walking around without your pants on. You're a fucking school teacher. There are kids in the class. You shouldn't be. I mean, what? Unless you're like you're not a biology teacher, are you? No, I think we're probably in math class, and nobody wants to count your testicles. So put your pants on, Jake. Inappropriate behavior, Jake. Don't be teaching the kids. You got the impressionable young kids there in the class. Oh, by the way, young kids is okay because kids can be different ages, and some of them can be young. But to say a young child implies that the child is not an older child, but a younger child. Is sort of like a young child is like in the 1, 2, 3, 4 years of age bracket. Whereas an older child would be 10, 11, 9, somewhere in there. Okay? Young, old, child. Oh, by the way, children are not 15. Okay? Let's just illustrate. I mean, picture this, if you will. And there's nothing wrong with picturing this. In your mind, just picture it. 15 years old, nice long hair, pretty eyes. Okay, here, we're going to go I'm just going to go all out here. Okay? Butt naked. Not a stitch of clothes on. No clothes. No bra, no panties, no, nothing. Not even a bikini. Not even, nothing. Absolutely fucking stark raving naked. By the way, naked means no fur, feathers, or scales over your bare, naked skin. Nude, it means no clothes. Alright? Just so you know that. Now, there are exceptions. There are contextual situations where the word naked means not wearing any clothes, as opposed to not having any fur on your skin. Contexts. But, still, the words mean what they mean, and in both ways, both definitions. But when people walk around saying, oh, he's naked, and, yeah, he has no fur on him. He's furless. Might have a lot of hair, because, maybe he's an Italian. That's not a slur against Italians. Come on, get real. So anyway, I'm looking. There she is. Like, I don't mean a photograph, because that's not a person. Photographs are not people. The people are not flat. Photographs are flat. People are not flat. So a photograph is not a person. Pretty much like a fetus is not a person. It's a fetus. That's why they call it that, because that's what it is. Now, it might be a human fetus, and so on. Might even hey, might even have a little heartbeat going there. But until that sucker's born outside and in the air, open like you and I, like not in the womb anymore, and cut that cord, clean it up, put it in a manger. Sorry. It's not a person until it's breathing independently of that womb. Let me illustrate. Suppose you have a living being. It's inside a woman in her belly area, and she's inside there in the womb, all nice and safe and cuddly with the what is it, the embryonic fluids, and it's just kind of floating in there, thinking nothing. It's not thinking anything. Look at it this way. Inside of my tummy, my belly, my stomach, there's a hamburger. I shoved it in my mouth, I chewed it up, and I swallowed it, and it went down, and there it is in my stomach, mixing with fluids and acids and stuff. It's not a fucking hamburger anymore. It's stomach contents. Now, let's suppose you swallow an oyster and you didn't chew it up and it hadn't been cooked. You just crack open a shell and boom, swallow that down your throat, and it's in your tummy. It's still alive until your stomach acids attack it and it dies, and it gets absorbed. The nutrients gets absorbed, and then the carcass, after it's been ravaged, is just pooped out. It's not a baby. All right. It's not a person. It's not even an oyster. It's now just excrement. All right. That's not exactly the picture I was going for. All right. Something inside of me, in that. My heart is inside me. It's like a human heart because it belongs inside my body. That's where it is. All right. Let's decide. Let's just say we have a way. We're gonna just make a little hole here in your chest, and we're gonna reach in there and grab that heart and make it out of there. And you're holding it in your hand, and it's like, it's beating. Not likely. Once you disconnect it from the human body and throw it on the table, it's in a tray or just drop it on the floor or whatever, chances are it's not beating anymore. It's not alive. All right. But let's just call the human heart, the one we, just, cracked open the chest of this person, and they're dead. It's a carcass, a dead person, and we're doing an autopsy. Crack open the chest, and there's a heart, but it's not beating because the person is dead. But suppose it's beating. All right. Well, hopefully the person we're doing this surgical procedure on is asleep at least, and he's been put to sleep with some what do they use now? Ether used to be the big thing, which is pretty disgusting stuff if you ask me, because I had some ether when I was about 9 years old. Took out my tonsils, like, what the fuck is it's yucky, and if you breathe it in your mouth, that'd be like drinking 90 proof whiskey. It'll choke you. It'll take your breath away. Well, anyway, I was having my tonsils out. I was in the hospital. Took me into surgery to do it, and they were put me, make me unconscious, And he put the mask over my face, and he said, if it bothers you, just blow it out. Okay, well, he's an idiot. Whoever told me that is a fucking idiot. He shouldn't be in a fucking operating room. Because telling that to a 9-year-old means, blow it out. He didn't say exhale. He didn't say through my nose. He didn't say keep your mouth shut. He said blow it out or blow it away. Okay? That means whoo, like with my mouth. Blowing air out my mouth, which means I had to take an inhale because the mask is over your mouth and your nose. And I had to inhale through my mouth, which brought all that ether right into my fucking mouth and my throat and my lungs. And I thought I was going to die. Thought I was going to choke and suffocate. Drown from ether drowning poison stuff. And, you don't tell a 9-year-old to blow. If you mean blow, through your nose, asshole. Why didn't he say it right? Why did he tell me that? Okay, so I take a deep breath to blow it away with my mouth, whoof, out my mouth, and then by that point I've got ether down my throat, in my mouth, in my lungs. It's like, oh shit. And I don't even know how to describe that. Terror, and all because this idiot said blow it. Insane. But anyway, totally incompetent. And whoever was, and this was like 60 years ago. If I could time travel, I'd go back, find this guy that just before, I was going to be etherized, and say to the guy applying this and telling me that I should blow, and beat the living crap out of that stupid asshole. You don't tell a 9-year-old to blow out. That's just stupid, incompetent, reckless. If I'd had any sense and I wasn't 9 years old, I would have sued the bastard. But anyway, I kind of know what waterboarding's like because of that. I can imagine waterboarding based on the fact that this guy told me to blow the ether. It was like being freaking forced into my nose and lungs and brain and shit. When I was 9 years old. If I'd have died on the operating table, the last thing I would have had in my head was terror, because I was like choking on his ether and couldn't breathe. That would have been my last thought. Holy fucking shit, I'm dying. And then that would have been it. I'd have been dead. So I guess I would probably kind of know what that was like too, So you could get all kind of, thoughts and knowledge and wisdom and stuff from just thinking about some experience in life where, I almost died because I freaking blew instead of kept my mouth shut and breathed through my nose like a normal person at a normal time. This asshole had to say, blow it away. Blow me away. I'll blow you away, you fucking asshole. Alright. Kind of got into that pretty quick. Here's the thing. I'm up here, 30,000 feet, looking out the window with my little scopy thing, and I'm like, there you are. Butt naked. I'm guessing, let me think, let me see, let me look. She's got tits. Okay. I'm guessing girl. Alright, let's look down a little lower on her body. She's like, she's out in the backyard sunbathing. She's laying on her back, kind of spread eagle, in the sun, enjoying herself. And she's 15. She could be any age. I'm not being narrow, I'm not spotlighting just one age. She could be 12, she could be 15, she could be 32, whatever. There she is, butt naked, no clothes. Laying on her back, spread eagle, on a blanket, in the backyard of her house. And there might be like walls and fences around the backyard so the neighbors can't see her. Unless there's a 2-story house next door, in which case, hey, I'm up here on the second floor looking out the window at my neighbor girl who's like laying there, butt naked. Yes, very nice, very, very nice. Perky little tits. Anyway, I'm looking, and tits. I'm thinking, girl. All right, nothing wrong with that, because that's what she is. Female of the species. Look down a little lower. What do we got down here? Doesn't have a dick. I know, penis. Penis is a stupid word. I'm sorry. Whoever came up with penis, it was just drunk that day. Yeah, that's a manly sounding thing. Hey, big. Ho, 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 ho. Manly, 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 manly. My penis is getting hard. No. That's just stupid. That's just, no. That's a pussy word. Why didn't they just call it something like manly? Like, you're the proud parents of a baby boy. And how do I know? Because he's got a penis. No. No. It's just not right. It's what it is. I mean, scientifically and biologically speaking, that's the word, but, like, can you even imagine some guy like this, like Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was like 30, saying, oh, I got a penis, in his Austrian accent. California. I got the penis. I got the penis. I got the penis. I got the penis. Sorry. Not a manly word. Maybe when you're like 6 months old, and you're like being, sucking on your mother's tit, milk, yummy, yummy, yummy. That's not really. I've tasted it. It's not that great. It's kind of bland. Needs salt, is what I'm saying. Or sugar, one or the other. So, okay, I'm looking at the girl, tits, and then no dick, no balls, no testicles, no penis, no ball sack, no scrotum, whatever scientific or slang word you want to use. There's a hole there. There's nothing out. There's just a hole into her crotch. And this particular 15-year-old has, like some hair around it. Like a perfect little triangular, upside down triangle of hair above and around her vagina hole. I'm guessing girl. Okay? I'm guessing on the side of womanhood, not childhood. This girl is, she's got some nice boobs, and they're not particularly small. They're kind of average for that age. And nice nipples, too. And they just happen to be like, sticking up like bullets. Or the front of a Studebaker, 51 Studebaker. You probably don't remember Studebakers. I do. Anyway, and mom actually had one. They drove it and had it and had a wreck and screwed it up. But anyway, back in 51. So what happened here is, I saw, and the evidence says, let's see now. Evidence. Boobs, vagina, little hair around it, girly eyes, girly hair, girly eyes, girly mouth. Oh, did I mention she has tits? And I know it's a slang word and it's considered kind of crude, but they're tits. I like the word. It's a nice word. And when it comes to down there, it's like, I'm not particularly fond of the word pussy or cunt, but vagina's fine. But, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm not in biology class. I'm looking down from my freaking airplane, 30,000 feet in the air, in my, like my spy cam down there on the earth, like the satellites do to us all the time. like Google satellites. And boobs. I'm sorry. You got boobs, you got tits, you got breasts. I like breasts. Breasts are good. That's a good word. I like breasts. I actually like the word breasts, and I like breasts. It's a little harder to say than tits. Anyway. As useless as tits on a boar hog. Phrases. Anyway. Cows have teats. Kind of meaning they have more than one tit. Kind of like the plural of tit. Anyway. I'm looking and I see the evidence. What biological scientific evidence do I have to go by? The girl's got tits. She's got a vagina. She's a girl. Female. And she's not a child. And she's not a boy. And she's definitely not a fetus. And somebody like, oh, you dirty old man pervert, whatever. Like, sorry. No, it's a biological observation. I saw it with my own eyes. This is hypothetical because I'm not actually flying at 30,000 feet in an airplane or, hanging on the side of a fucking spy satellite in space. We're just imagining this, okay? And I'm just imagining I'm looking out the window of my jet airplane that's like really nice, like Air Force One kind of thing. My personal private jet. Being piloted by, God knows who. Anyway, not God. No, not God. God's not my pilot. Or my co-pilot. Don't do that religious nonsense. Anyway, I'm looking, I see, and I made an observation. A critical, analytic observation of what I was seeing in my head. Because eyes don't see. Eyes look, sends the data to the brain sees. That's just a biological fact. And I'm an artist. I know these things. All right, so she's a girl, female, woman person. Yes. Human beings, female human beings, have breasts, woman. On the woman side of the maturity process, the stages of development of a human being, fetus, born, becomes baby, infant. I like Popeye's version of that word, infant, and toddler, which is just a description of a developmental stage. Not really a scientific term, toddler. And this is a child because it's a living, breathing, walking around 4-year-old child. Okay. Not an adult. This person, this human being, has not reached the age of adulthood. Adolescent. Oh, before you get to be an adolescent, you're a child, you're a pubescent person, and then an adolescent, and then bingo, adult. Full-blown adult. Well, it's nice if you get blown now and then. I mean, once you become sexually, physically, sexually developed, and you got tits, and you got a vagina, and you bleed once a month, or, you know what I mean, regularly, you're not a child anymore. So, and if you're there, I'm going to argue with that guy because you don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I do. I know. You could just say I'm a fucking expert here. And my credibility is 100% because I'm telling the truth. I mean, you might want to deny it and say, I'm going to pretend like I'm an idiot. I'm going to argue with him about that. Yeah, no, you're not. Because it's radio. And like a monologue, and there's no live audience in my studio, so you're out there somewhere, wherever you are, listening to this podcast. And so you're not here and you can't talk to me. And you can't argue with me. Now, you can leave a comment in the comment section down below, but if you want to argue with me on my own fucking YouTube page, fuck that shit. No, you're not. Okay, but you can leave a comment. Pro or, either way. Yes, no, good, bad, right, wrong, whatever. You can argue make a comment and see what happens. I'm probably going to answer you because, I'm kind of like that. I don't mind responding to the questions. If you're going to make a statement, it better be factual. Otherwise, I'm going to tear you up. I'm going to rip you a new one, Bob. Sorry. But if you want to, go ahead. Free country. It's my page. I own it. It's mine. Ta-da! Sorry. I'm talking about my actual radio website. Podcasting page. It's mine, not yours. So I'm going to make the rules. YouTube, on the other hand, makes rules. They're like little Nazi fascist pig bastards. Like, we're going to censor you. They kiss my ass. You're a corporation, YouTube. You have no rights. You certainly don't have the right to violate human beings' rights. Or real human beings' rights. Because you're a fucking corporation, a fictitious entity. You're not real. You're not a real person. You're not a real human being. You're a fucking corporation. You don't have rights. Remember that, folks. If you're a corporation, you don't have rights. You are exercising a privilege granted to you by, the fact that you got a license and applied to be a corporation by saying, hey, can I have a license to be a whatever? You've just traded your right to free speech to a privilege of saying something as long as the government approves of it. Corporation. So Facebook, YouTube, on corporations. They don't have rights. And they don't have the right to infringe upon my freedom, my rights as an individual. They don't. They just don't. That's a fact. Look it up. Look up, in the law and find out what a corporation is defined as and what it means and what its responsibilities are and what its obligations are under the law of corporations. Corporation is a fictitious entity created by the government so that it may, kind of legally exercise a privilege. Not a right. Just remember that. Next time Facebook censors you. And, just tell them. You're a corporation, you have no rights, and you can't tell me what to do, and you certainly can't censor me. Because that would be violating my right of free speech. And someone get, some kind of lame excuse like, but Facebook is privately owned by, No, it's not. It's publicly owned. That's why they call it a corporation, and that's what they mean when they say it's a public corporation, meaning anybody in the public, generally, can say, buy stock in this fictitious entity. Anyway, that's a little bit complicated. I just wanted to kind of clue you in on that because time is fleeting and I'm up to 28 minutes in the show already. Well over halfway. All right. So what I'm saying is, child, looking out the window, bingo, pretty girl, female, human being, a sexual being because all human beings are sexual. They're born with genitals, and that means hormones and like male hormones, female hormones, and this interesting fact that apparently when a female is born, female human being, they're born with all of the eggs they will ever have in their lifetime. Like right there in their ovaries, there's like all of the eggs are there, ovums are there. They're born with like however many they're born. I don't know what. Let's say a woman ovulates and drops an egg every month. It's 12 a month, 12 a year. 12 years is 144. Blah blah. I'm thinking women are born with hundreds of eggs, ovums, ovi, oviums, and they're born with that, as opposed to a man who has to reproduce his seeds, daily or constantly, even into his 90s, actually. Whereas a woman, bingo, dropped all the eggs I'm going to drop. Like 600 of them. There aren't any more in me, and I'm not making any more because my ovaries don't produce them. As opposed to a guy's testicles that keeps making those little babies by the billions. So, what we have here is, an obvious analysis of the data that goes into my brain, and my brain says, because I have this little data bank in my brain that says, what is a female of the species? Able to reproduce, able to, carry a baby, fetus thingy in the womb, and then I almost made a snafu there, buddy. Almost let that indoctrination get into my head and come out my mouth. Men, on the other hand, produce sperm, a lot of it, and spit. From about the age of 9 or so, they start spitting that out of their body. Maybe 10, 11, somewhere in there. Well, I know probably that I was spitting it out when I was 10 because I remember, got that stuff on the bed sheets. Again, damn, Mom's going to have a fit. Anyhow, male, female. So there's no secret, is there? Okay, so you put them in a bikini, and guess what? I can still see your titties. They're not hidden. They're not invisible. There they are. Duh. And the woman says, no, don't look at my boobs. Look at my face. But they're right there in front of me. What kind of idiot are you? You don't want me to see your tits? Stay in the basement. Live your whole life in hiding. I've actually read about girls that are ashamed of their breasts. Really. And I'm like, why? I mean, you spent years looking forward to it. I mean, jump out of bed and go in and look at the mirror naked, and you're like, oh, no tits yet. I'm still a child. I don't know what this rush is to be a grown-up anyway. But on the other hand, it's the normal process. I mean, you're born, you're a child, you're an adolescent, and you're an adult, grown-up. You're not producing any more genital materials, particularly, because you are what you are. Oh, but in today's world, you can actually reconstruct your body to make it look like the opposite sex, or gender is actually the word. Sex is what you do, stick the dick in the hole. Fucky. That's sex. I know they use the word interchangeably with something else. I'm sorry, but technically speaking, no. You're male or female gender, not male or female sex. That's not what the word means. It becomes slang when you don't use the correct word. Like pussy, slang. It's a slang word. Kid is a slang word. So when somebody says, he's a kid, that's slang. It doesn't mean anything, really. It just kind of designates that you're not like an old fart. I find amusement in some of the phraseology that people use, commonly in the world. Like they say, I'm no spring chicken. You're not a fucking chicken of any kind. You're just not. You're a human being. But it's kind of a slang, humorous thing to say. Doesn't really mean much scientifically. I get tired of people saying that, by the way. She's just a kid. Yeah, well, she's 17 and she's got nice tits. Or in the case of a boy, not bad. Pretty good sized pecker you got there, buddy. Which is also a slang term, by the way, pecker. I don't boggle my mind. Idiots boggle my mind. Anyway, then they shouldn't be doing that, because it's like my brain, not theirs, and they shouldn't be messing with it. but they can't help themselves because they're not smart people. All right, so I'm looking at this girl, and definitely a girl. She's definitely past puberty. She's definitely biologically matured into a woman. Oh, by the way, adolescent. Think about the word adolescent. Now, this is not like a scientific, straight out of the dictionary definition kind of thing. I'm just playing with it, giving you some idea, giving you something to think about. Adolescent is like, just say it in a different way, because an adolescent is an adult-lescent, meaning less than a full adult. Sort of like, I'm an adult, but not quite, not completely. Otherwise, adolescence would be called, the technical term would have to change then, because then we would call it childescent or adolescent. Did I say that right? No. I'm confusing people. Just go with this. Adolescent, said in a little different accent. Adult, less-ent. Meaning, if you look up lesson in the dictionary, you'll maybe find a definition meaning like a participant, adolescent, participant, defendant. It has a meaning. It's a suffix on a word. It means something. And you don't just change that just because you feel like it. Let's change the meaning of this word. In the law, if the Congress is making a law and they went, we made this law, we call it the income tax, and we have to, use some words in the law that tells people what that law is about. So the law, written down on the page in the law books, it says, for the purposes of the income tax, the word person or a person means a corporation. So, in the income tax law, if they call you a person, they mean corporation. And if you're not a corporation, then they're lying. Because if you're not a corporation, you're not a person, according to the dictionary. According to the law, the income tax law. By the way, throwing a plug for Dave fucking Champion, the book, Income Tax, Shattering the Myths. Get it. It's about the income tax, all that shit. It's in a book, 425 pages. It's long, it's got a lot of stuff in it, a lot of information. You need to know this stuff. Personally, I think every human being, over the age of 12 should be, it should be required reading for everybody in America. So get the book, but get it. And if you have to pay about $50 for it, what the hell? It's worth it. You'll know stuff that you don't know now. Or borrow a copy from someone who has bought it. Whatever. Just, read the damn book. And then you can talk to me about the income tax. If you haven't read the book, then you probably can't talk to me about the income tax because you're probably going to get it wrong. And then I'll just look at you like real nasty like and say, fucking idiot. You don't know shit. I do because, hey, read the book. Well, I'm in the process of reading the book. It's a big book. Good book. Get the book, read the book. Just do it. Don't be an idiot. Get the book. Alright, that was my plug for Dave Champion's book. He should pay me for pimping for him. I'm pimping the book for you, Dave. You probably should give me some, give me a commission or something. No, that's all right, Dave. You don't have to. It's fine. I'm happy to do it for free. Always good to depart, to express truth and information to people. Educate them and enlighten them and, make them knowledgeable. Get, on your own. You don't need me to force it down your throat. Just get it. Just say it. Get it. Put it in your own brain. Of your own free will. It's good for you. to know stuff. Otherwise, you're ignorant. And I don't say that as a slur. I mean, technically speaking, it's a scientific word meaning you're ignorant, meaning you don't know stuff, whatever it is I'm talking about. In this case, you're ignorant of the income tax laws because you don't know what they are. So when I tell you there's no law making the non-incorporated individual American human being liable for the income tax, it doesn't exist. It never did exist. Now, if you're a corporation, that tax exists and that law exists because there it is. And then you got your charter to be a corporation. The condition was, from this point on, as you're a corporation, engaging in a privilege granted to you by the government body that creates and names people as a corporation. It's just true. Damn. Don't be stubborn. If you don't believe me, look it up yourself. I did. You can. It's online. Just look up the U.S. Code. Find the chapter on income tax. I think that would be Title 26. Could be wrong. I think it's 26. Somewhere in that area. Look it up. Read it yourself. See what it says. Also, so anyway, the word person is defined in the law as is required because that's like the rule when you're making laws. If you're going to use a word that doesn't mean what the dictionary says it means, then you have to say in the law what it means. Your version of it, your definition of it has to be in the law. If it's not, it means what it always means in everyday life, in common usage, like whatever the dictionary says it means. And it doesn't say a corporation. Talking about human beings in the dictionary. A law dictionary might, but your regular Webster's, Simon, whatever, no, probably not. Anyhow, dictionary.com might say something about it because, dictionary.com is run by a bunch of freaking mind benders and won't get into that, running out of time. Up to 42 minutes, got about 3 minutes left in today's episode. Gee, time does fly when you're having fun. All right, so I'm looking and I'm seeing, and like someone says, "Don't stare," and I say, "It's not polite to stare," and I say, "What? Who made that rule? Let me seriously, who made that rule?" Well, it's just common sense. Now, actually, somebody made the rule, and it's kind of silly because, of course, I can stare, and it's not rude because it's normal to look at something, particularly if it's like nice to look at. You might look at it for an extended period of time. But the socialists have got this brainwashing thing going, like, let's make people think differently. Let's make their brains turn to mush and believe what we say. And so, I'm brain dead. Yes, you are. You need, to kickstart your brain and, kind of get it to function like it's supposed to and think. Because the brain is to think logically with. That's the rule. That's biological. It's like the laws of physics, damn it. Laws of nature. So, she's got boobs, she's got hair around her vagina, and she bleeds. And as it turns out, she's in the backyard, sunbathing, on her back, spread eagle, naked, butt naked. Everything's showing. Can't quite see her asshole, but, it's there. And you're looking for an extended period of time. Let's say, 30 seconds. Take a picture. It'll last longer. Then you can look at it all you want. So anyway, I got to go into this segment. Maybe I'll come back and do a second episode for today, which is January 26th, 2017. Okay, I got to go. Archer Monologues, D. McClung. Hope you enjoyed the show. Subscribe. Get all my shows. Learn something. Seriously. Then you'll be, enlightened. Catch you later.